this works. Let me know as soon as you hear this. All I did was rebooted everything. I went and I looked at the recording that we had done so that I could hear what you guys were hearing. And yeah, I did. I heard it's tinny. I have no explanation for it. Everything was set up properly. I rebooted everything. So now if you're hearing any of this, tell me if this sounds better to me, she says. Okay. I did a recording. Byron says, perfect. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I did a recording. I went off the air and I did a quick recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, after rebooting everything. This is this crazy computer stuff. Shit fixes itself. It shouldn't be allowed to just fix itself. There's no... All right, good. Thank you. We seem to be better. You were right, and I appreciate you guys letting me know. And again, thank you to Byron for letting me know in the way that catches my attention, which is for some reason, my Twitter personal message, my private messages on Twitter, that alarm goes off all the time. I don't know how to set my alarms. The other ones don't, but that one does. And I always go, huh? It's better than before, Leslie says. Okay, very good. All right, let's get back into the birthdays because we were talking about birthdays. We were talking about John Gotti and how I was watching the Gotti, whatever that is. There's a new Netflix docuseries, Get Gotti. It's interesting. I love that stuff. I'm a freak for mob stuff. I love the Five Family stories, the mythology. I mean, this is not a justification. What it is it's a view of a person who has chosen to live a completely separate life from civilized society. And that's fascinating. Gangsters are cowboys. It's the same thing. I mean, kind of like homeless people, I guess, are like that too, but that's not cool. There's going to be no romanticization of, although I guess, didn't they try to make being homeless seem nice and seem like aspirational with that stupid movie about the people in campers? Nah, you're just homeless with wheels. That's all. That's gross. Ugh. Sorry, I'm distracted by something I'm watching on TV. So anyway, it's really good. Just watch it. Get Gotti, Netflix. It's a 3-part miniseries. You can watch it this weekend. It's not a miniseries. It's a docuseries. It's about how all the different organizations tried to get Gotti, and it was the FBI who finally did. Sorry to spoil the plot for you, kids, but yeah, it was kind of big news that Gotti got. Okay? So what do you mean? What do you mean the 3 people? You just spoiled that docuseries. Dude, it's John Gotti. His life story has been told in countless movies. You should know. He died in prison, okay? He got finally caught. That's not spoiling anything. Yes, can you tell that I like to talk about movies and stuff, and I get accused of spoiling shit all the time, and I try to be courteous, and I try to be respectable, but Jesus, man. It's a docuseries. It's about shit that happened in the real world. You should know it. Dead on this day in 1941. No, not dead on this day. Born on this day in 1941. Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle, American race car driver. That's one of the great names in race car driving history. Dick Trickle. Don't know anything else about him. Born on this day in 1941. Born on this day in 1942. How about Lee Greenwood? I don't know anything about Lee Greenwood other than he's proud to be an American. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal with that song. Oh, God, that song comes on. Oh, God. Here we go. Not because it's not a nice song. Not because I disagree with the sentiment of the song. Not because of anything like that. Not because I hate America. I hate the way that song has been used in the most heavy-handed, you're either with us or against us kind of way. That song sucks. Actually, it might be an okay song. Like, if I'd never heard it before and somebody was like, got a new song for you, and I heard it, I wonder if I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of catchy. But it has been used so heavy-handedly and so politically and so, Lord. But I don't know if it's a bad song. I just know that whenever I hear it, I roll my eyes. Oh, God, here we go, Lee Greenwood. Don't know anything about Lee Greenwood. Might have been a nice guy. The only thing I know about Lee Greenwood is that he is proud to be an American. Born on this day in 1942, Lee Greenwood. Born on this day in 1946, Ivan Reitman, Slovak-Canadian director. The director, you may be like, hey, Pugs, you haven't been doing drafts lately. Yeah, I know. I could easily do an Ivan Reitman draft, but here's the thing. This show is going into its 3rd year. We've done 2 Ivan Reitman drafts. We've probably done 4 Ivan Reitman drafts because he died. And I'm betting that on his death day, we did an Ivan Reitman draft. Ghostbusters. All right. Fine. No, we're not going to do it. No, we won't do a full Ivan Reitman draft, but I will remind you of what Ivan Reitman was getting into during his life, because it's pretty good stuff. Stripes, Meatballs, Ghostbusters, Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Dave Jr., Father's Day, 6 Days, 7 Nights, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, No Strings Attached, and a sleeper that is one of my favorites, Draft Day. I love Draft Day. What you doing? Eating pancakes? I love Draft Day. You ever seen Draft Day? Draft Day is a fun movie. But here's what you have to know going in. This kid's in the tank for Kevin Costner. This kid's in the tank for everything Kevin Costner does. Kevin Costner's just every movie he's ever been in. It doesn't make Kevin Costner. 2 best Kevin Costner movies. Are you ready? Because they ain't the ones you think. Best Kevin Costner movie, Upside of Anger. Second best Kevin Costner movie, For Love of the Game. Yeah, I said it. I'll knife fight you guys. Third best Kevin Costner movie, The Untouchables. Fourth, Bull Durham. Now, I know what you're saying. Pugs, how are you doing a Kevin Costner draft during an Ivan Reitman thing? I don't know, because this is a stream of consciousness, and sometimes we just run down bunny holes and find ourselves where we are, and this, my friend, is where we are. Ivan Reitman, Draft Day. I love Draft Day. Kevin Costner movie, Ivan Reitman produced it. That's how he got there. All right, how about what did he do as a producer? Those were as directors and writers. So let's look at Ivan Reitman as a producer. As producer only. Animal House, Heavy Metal. Oh, man, you guys remember Heavy Metal? You remember how badass Heavy Metal was? Heavy Metal was an animated cartoon. It was like the first really cool animated thing ever. It was like the first animated thing that wasn't like Mickey Mouse, you know, and this came around 1980, Heavy Metal. Man, that was so cool. My son loves anime. I wonder if I showed my son Heavy Metal, if he'd like it. I know he'd like the music, because the music is incredible. What was the sound? What here? Okay, so here, this is the first time we heard any of these songs. At least the first time I heard any of these songs. Let's see here. I remember, I really remember here. Okay, music. Okay, so this is all. How do I find the music? Heavy Metal, Taking a Ride by Don Felder, Cheap Trick, Working in a Coal Mine. Queen Bee by Grand Funk Railroad. I Must Be Dreaming by Cheap Trick. Crazy by Nazareth. All of You, which was written for the show. Okay, so these are not great. Heavy Metal by Sammy Hagar. That's good. But wait, where's Working in a Coal Mine by Devo? It's the first time I heard that. Oh, I see what they're doing. Black Sabbath, Devo. There we go. Working in a Coal Mine, Devo. Oh, so I got to watch Heavy Metal again. Heavy Metal was apparently like different movies, and each movie had different soundtracks, but they were all contained in one movie, one sitting. You'd watch them all. All right, so I get it. Anyway, Heavy Metal. I didn't know Ivan Reitman had anything to do with Heavy Metal. That's cool. That makes him cool. Ivan Reitman was born on this day. Nah, we're not going to do a draft, but he is deserving of some attention. Jason Reitman, his kid. I like his kid. His kid's a good director. Okay. Ivan Reitman, born on this very day in 1946. Born on this day in 1951, Jane Kennedy. Holy balls, people. You remember Jane Kennedy? Jane Kennedy was like CBS, right? It's Jimmy the Greek and Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, and then just smoke show for no reason. Don't even know if she knows football. Like, at least today when we see a Kay Adams or, you know, somebody like that. Today, like one of my favorite football voices is a girl on talk radio. She's also a news anchor in Chicago, Layla Rahimi. This chick knows more about football than I ever will. So today, when you have your football experts, right, and they're women, you can go, okay, they probably know their stuff. I don't think that was the case in 1978 when they just needed a hot chick to sit up there with Jimmy. I don't know. I'd like to rewatch some of that. I'd like to go back and watch some of the Jane. I wonder if it's even available. I mean, does she offer breakdowns? Like Kay Adams will break a game down. Layla Rahimi will break a game down. There's any number of, Jane Slater. We got any number of them here. Locally, there's women who are good football minds. Nationally, I just don't know that Jane Kennedy was. However, here's what I do know Jane Kennedy was. I was like 10 years old. I don't know. I didn't even like girls. I didn't know what the rules were. Jane Kennedy pops on my TV and I'm like, yes, please. I would like some of that. So here, this is Jane Kennedy. It's her birthday. Let's go down memory lane. She was married to Leon Isaac Kennedy. Do you guys remember Leon Isaac Kennedy? He made a bunch of bad late night HBO movies called Penitentiary. Like there was Penitentiary 1, Penitentiary 2, and they all starred Leon Isaac Kennedy, who wasn't famous. He didn't do anything but these movies, but Leon Isaac Kennedy was a dude with money. And Leon Isaac Kennedy decided, I'm going to make myself a movie star. So he produced and starred and directed in these movies. Penitentiary, they came out at a time when drive-ins were dying, but guess what wasn't? Late night cable. So all of a sudden, Leon Isaac Kennedy becomes a star on late night cable, and he marries smoke show Jane Kennedy. Let's look at Jane Kennedy. Oh, man, I keep losing the Jane Kennedy picture. All right, here we go. Boom. Let's bring her over. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your birthday girl and the driver of many a boy wet dream in 1980, Jane Kennedy. Look at her. Shut up. Stop it. Don't be mean. Everybody gets old. You're being an asshole right now. I mean, I didn't even hear you, but I know what you're thinking. Shut up. She's old. People get old. Might I remind you? Bam! Right there. That's what she is. That's who Jane Kennedy's always going to be for me. Want to see something else? Huh? How about one more? Bam! Right there. Yeah, that's Jane. That's Full Metal Jane Kennedy, 1978. Sitting next to Irv Cross, who thinks he had a shot. And sweaty-ass Jimmy the Greek. Brent Musburger knew he didn't have a shot. Brent Musburger just liked that he was sitting next to a girl this pretty. Because Brent Musburger had probably never been around a girl in his life. There you have it. Happy birthday, Jane Kennedy. She was a favorite. Born on this day in 1951, Jane Kennedy. Born on this day in 1958. How about Simon Le Bon? Simon Le Bon, lead singer of Duran Duran. I love Duran Duran. I love them. First concert I ever went to. First date, first concert, whatever you want to call it. Duran Duran. 7 in the Rugged Tiger Tour. Yeah, 1983. My first date. My first date with Pam. And we went with Jay Joss. We went with Jay and Claudia and me and Pam. And we went and we saw Duran Duran. 7 in the Ragged Tiger. Happy birthday, Simon Le Bon. Good for you. He's cool. I mean, how could you? I mean, that's a cool guy to be. Like, how old is he? He's like 1958. Okay, so I don't want to do the math, but all right. So he's 65. 65? Yeah, he's 65 today. Simon Le Bon is 65 years old. Okay, retirement age. Woo! Okay, all right. 65-year-old Simon Le Bon. By the way, they're still touring, putting out albums, still selling out arenas. They're still like big. They do what they want to do. They're not playing county fairs. 65 years old, his birthday. That's pretty good being Simon Le Bon, right? Because you're a celebrity, but you haven't been like a hot celebrity where you need bodyguards and you can't go out in public. You haven't been that in probably 25, 30 years. But you are still a celebrity. So whenever you walk into a restaurant, they are like, oh, that's the guy from Duran Duran. So you still got that, but you don't get like the real bothersome stuff. That's good. Shit tons of money. I mean, he never worked a day in his life. 65. He never worked a day in his life. He started singing. He started I'm a Beautiful Emo Boy back in 1980 or whatever. Yeah, Simon Le Bon, man. Much love. There you go. He did it. And he did it all without being a dick. Like they all seem like good dudes. Like, all the guys in Duran Duran seem like good dudes. Even when they were being dicks to each other, they all seem super cool with each other. Even like now, all these years later, like, yeah, remember when you were like a total dick? Yeah. I don't know. They seem okay. They seem like good people is what I'm trying to say. Simon Le Bon, born on this day in 1958. Duran Duran. Born on this day in 1963, Marla Maples. Marla Maples is Trump's other wife. I like to remember back when Marla Maples first became a thing, because remember it was Donald and Ivana. They were like a celebrity couple in the like 80s and mid 90s and all that stuff. And, they'd been a thing for like 15 years doing Pizza Hut commercials together, whatever they were doing. They were a thing. They were a curiosity. They were a national interest just because they seemed to live a glamorous and interesting life. They were the real life dynasty. They were the real life Ewings of Dallas. That's who they were. And that's the place in our psyche that they occupied. And then Donald started banging a Broadway dancer. And that was Marla Maples. Why? Why did he start? Because Donald was like in his 40s at this point. 40s, late. he was feeling a little bit like, I'm not as spry and as young as I used to. And, Ivanka or Ivana, God love her, she turned 40, so he couldn't be seen with her in public. And then, he just started catting around. That was a big divorce. That was a big scandal. I don't know if you guys remember, like Marla Maple, she became super famous. And then, they got divorced, obviously, because that wasn't a love match. That was just people found out and he had to marry her. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what it was. Anyway, Marla Maple's kind of laying low. She didn't really get involved in the whole 4-year presidency thing. Her daughter Tiffany, was the one of the family that they had to just bring in for games. Like Tiffany was never hanging around. All the other ones, they're just hanging around. Like we saw Barron a lot, walking from helicopters, and Ivanka was obviously front and center because she was daddy's show pony. And then, the boys were all like, trying to get as much attention, but not Tiffany. Tiffany was out there in LA with her mom, Marla. They sat it out. Happy birthday, Marla Maples, born on this day in 1963. Born on this day in 1967, Scott Weiland, American singer-songwriter, Stone Temple Pilots, and whatnot. This fucking guy. Seriously, Scott Weiland was so awesome, man. He was so cool. That band was so cool. That band was so everything that a rock band needed to be in its time. They were interesting. They were good. They were good. Let's start it right here. They were good. They were good musicians. They were good players. They made good sounds. And Scott Weiland was a star. I mean, just an obvious rock star. Fucking drugs. Just ruined them. Man. Stone Temple Pilots look, we know why Nirvana isn't around. The one that survived essentially is Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam's the one that is still around from that era that if they went, let's do a concert, they'd start booking football stadiums, right? That's what Pearl Jam is all about, and they can still pull that off. Scott Weiland hadn't died, I believe STP would have been right there with him. I think STP would have been one of these bands that keeps reinventing their sound and keeps doing. They were a super interesting band. And then, drugs ruin the band, and then they all go off and they do other things. And then this guy dies at a tragically young age. Scott Weiland, born on this day in 1967. Born on this day in 1984, Kelly Osbourne, English television personality. Kelly Osbourne, we watched it, her grows up. We did. Born on this day in 1984, Brady Quinn. I watched his career implode. Yeah, Brady Quinn. I watched every game he played in college. He was the quarterback of my Irish. He was good in college. I mean, he's real good in college. And then we watched him on draft day fall. It's like, he's going to be the first quarterback taken. And he felt like, I don't want to misspeak it because I felt really bad for him because I liked him. He seemed like a good kid. That I was rooting for and whatever. So turns out not a great quarterback in the NFL, but not a bad analyst. Happy birthday, Brady Quinn. He does college football analyst. I don't have a problem with him. Of course, I'm biased for him because I like him. Because I liked him as a player. I liked him as a leader. So, but whatever. Other people might be. I don't listen to anybody who has any. Everybody's got an opinion on football talking heads, right? Whether it's Chris Collinsworth, where everybody hates Joe Buck, even though Joe Buck is probably the best to have ever done it. But okay, whatever. Joe Buck sucks. Oh, is that what we're going with? So I don't know. So I don't really listen to that. But I think Brady Quinn's good. Born on this day in 1984. Born on this day in 1997. How about, God bless this kid. He's born on this day in 1997. What is he, 26? I mean, for my own selfish reasons, I'm like, how old is he now? 20. So that would be 26. So it's his 26th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday to the good kid, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, NBA player. Oh my God, this kid. This kid, I gave him my heart. I gave this kid my heart. Lonzo Ball, we all know him, second overall pick when? 2017? 2018? Something like that? 2017, LA Lakers, second overall pick. When the Lakers made their big move for, I don't know, was it Davis? Yeah, it was when they got Anthony Davis. They made a big move for Davis. They sent, part of that deal was it was Davis for Ball and a bunch of other parts or whatever. I don't know, it was a complicated deal, but essentially it came down to Lonzo Ball being traded to the New Orleans Pelicans for Anthony Davis. New Orleans didn't know what to do with Davis, so they gave him back. New Orleans then gets Lonzo Ball. They're thinking that's going to be the guy that they need for their type of off, and they don't know what to do with him either. So after a year or so, he gets traded to the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Chicago Bulls and Billy Donovan, they actually seem to utilize Lonzo Ball to the best of his ability, and for the half a season that Lonzo Ball leads the Chicago Bulls offense, the Chicago Bulls are in first place by 5 games in the NBA East. Lonzo Ball is leading the league in 3 points, Defended, ridiculously running it up. And like I said, that was just for 5 months. And then he blew out his knee. And we were first told that Lonzo Ball, this is going back, I think, 2020, 2021. First thing we were told about Lonzo was that he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. We're like, okay, but he doesn't need surgery. That's good. Then we learned he needs surgery. He's going to be out the rest of the season. So that cancels that season. So we're looking at next season. We're like, okay, good. Because the Bulls have done nothing to change. The Bulls team is built to be run by Lonzo Ball. That's everybody on that team is built. Lonzo Ball is the guy that they went and built around. He's the driver of the offense. He didn't play at all last year. He missed all of last season. He missed half of the first season where he got here. He missed all of last season, and now he's out all of this season. When he finally comes back from these multiple knee surgeries, he will have missed, in his prime, 26 years old, he will have missed 2.5 NBA seasons if he's able to come back at all. And if he is able to come back finally, is he going to be the same Lonzo Ball? I mean, he's a shooter from range, but he's also a guy that can drill you and get you inside. I mean, he's slashing and, he's fast. That's his thing. He's like a quarterback out there. For a fast-paced team, he's the guy. Is he still going to be that? I don't know. I worry about the kid. Happy birthday. Injuries suck, man. Injuries suck. And here's the other thing. Lonzo Ball. Anyone with the last name Ball who plays professional basketball, it's LaMelo or Lonzo or whomever, it's like they all have a bad reputation because of their dad. Yeah, their dad, LeVar, is a D-bag, a total D-bag who needs to sit down and shut up. But that's not Lonzo Ball. That has certainly not been him his entire time in Chicago. Now, they say that, here's that Lonzo. Never mind. I don't want to get into it because it's a stupid NBA argument. But yeah, don't confuse the absurdity of LeVar Ball with his kid. His kids seem to be good kids. They seem to distance themselves from their dad. They seem to know, yeah, we grew up with him. That's just who he is. Lonzo seems like a good dude. Lonzo Ball celebrating a birthday today in 1997. Get well, kid. What promise you had? All right, let's do some deaths. These are the people who've died. Adam Reyna says draft day falls into a good, bad movie. Well, I'm not a cynical piece of shit, Adam, so I don't make those distinctions. I just enjoyed it and call it a good movie. That's harsh. That's a harsh takedown of Adam Reyna, my old friend. I don't know. Sometimes I just need to blow a load on somebody. What? All right. Let's see. What are we doing here? Deaths. Let's talk about people who died, and then let's move into the big issues of the day because there are a lot of big issues today. Here are the people who've died. We like to pretend we knew them, and we're gonna damn them to hell, or we're going to honor them. We're gonna let them go to heaven, or hell. We're gonna take a look at people who died on this day. We're gonna look at their life's resume, and we're gonna decide whether we think they're in heaven or hell. Let's start. Dead on this day in 2003. Rod Roddy, come on down. Rod Roddy. Price is Right. That guy, Rod Roddy. He was the come on down. He was that guy. Around these parts, Rod Roddy is a legendary Dallas-Fort Worth broadcaster. He's a DJ for a whole lot of years during the rock and roll years, or whatever it was. Rod Roddy, a big Dallas, whatever it was. He was one of those guys. And then he goes out and he hooks up with Bob Barker, and for like 50 years, he's come on down. Well, go on up. Let's put him up there, right? Why not? Why not put Rod Roddy in heaven? Dead on this day in 2011, Robert Pritzker. Okay. All right. Here we go. Do a little stretch out here. Let me seriously, because we're just honestly, we're deciding the fate of one of the members of the Pritzker family. Quietly, one of the most powerful shadow families in America's history. Who's the Pritzker family? You may not even know who the Pritzker family is. You know why? Because they lay low. Well, not so much in recent years. They got one of them as a governor, and another one has been making big Hollywood blockbuster films for 20 years. But for the most part, their influence and their power, Pritzkers have always kind of laid low. Pritzker, but put it to you this way. Who are the Pritzkers? Since the history of the Forbes ranking of the top 10 wealthiest and most influential families in America, the Pritzkers have never not been in the top 10. Pritzkers, since in the entire history, they've always been one of the 10 most influential. So that's how long their reach goes. They own they own everything. They own a whole bunch of stuff. But how did they get their start here? Hyatt hotels. They're the Hilton family of Hyatt hotels, right? So that's what they are. Whereas the Hiltons are very, look at us. The people who did Hyatt were a little bit lower key. They're just controlling all the levers and all that stuff. They're big money in this family. There's like 15 cousins who, after this, is it this dude who died or is it his dad? All right, Robert Pritzker is the guy we're talking about. Robert Pritzker died in 2011. No, I think it was his father. I think it was J. Robert Pritzker the first, who died in 1999. When he died, he was like the top guy. When he died, man, it became a Succession-style feeding frenzy this story needs to be told. And you know who ought to tell it? Gigi Pritzker, who's like a big Hollywood producer. She ought to make the family Succession. Those storylines are hot. Anyway, here's my rule. Politicians do not get to go to heaven. All politicians go to hell. And although there are some politicians in the Pritzker family, Robert Pritzker is not a politician. He is a billionaire, and billionaires also always go to hell. Okay, let's move on. We got Rod Roddy, who died on this day in 2003. We sent him to heaven. We've got Robert Pritzker, American billionaire and businessman. We sent him to hell. And how about this one? Dead on this day in 2013. Doot, 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 doot. Colored Girl Sing. Lou Reed. Lou Reed died. He got to go to hell, right? Because he had a lyric where he called girls colored. Isn't that, 1968? He wrote that song, and he said, and the Colored Girls Sing, and by today's standards, that makes him a racist, right up there with Hitler and George Lincoln Rockefeller, or whoever that guy was. No, of course not. But here's the facts about Lou Reed. He's going to hell anyway because Lou Reed was a dick. Lou Reed was an asshole. Nobody liked Lou Reed. Yeah, maybe he was a genius and maybe he did stuff, but whatever. I'm not a big fan. I like for years, I thought I liked a Lou Reed song. And for years, I mean, 5 through 18. 5 through 18, I thought I liked the Lou Reed song. You know that song, Lola? I love that song. Lola, right? Turns out that's the Kinks. It's not even Lou Reed. I'm like, isn't that the Lou Reed song? I don't know. Lou Reed does the other song about a trans person, right? Doot, 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 doot. That's kind of a good song. I think I kind of like that. Is that a good song? You know what that is? That's a good song for that point. Like not that point in time, but I mean at that point in the song. At the point in the song where it's going doot, 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 doot. And I can see everybody's toe is tapping. They're like, yeah, I like that. And then it's just like weird. It just becomes like this weird story. I'm going to have to listen to that song. I haven't heard that song. Anyway, Lou Reed, you're going to hell. We've already made up our minds on that one. You're just an asshole. People didn't like you. There's stories about what a jerk you were to people. So Lou Reed, you're going to hell. That's going to do it, folks. We are all done with the first 3 quarters of today's show. What that means? Well, I tell you. That means that it's time to talk about all of the things that are happening in the world today. Let's get into it. Top of our lists, we've got our... Oh, wait, hold on. Is this the first thing? Should we do this first? God, the thing that I started out as the first thing when I put the show together this morning, I just don't feel like it's the first thing anymore, but we're going to mention it anyway. Okay, last night, United States airplanes, warplanes, if you will, conducted multiple strikes on installations they believed to be Hamas training grounds, right? No, not Hamas training grounds. What was it they said they were? Iranian training grounds, but somehow Syria. We sent warplanes into Syria. Slow creep of acceptance of us being at war in the Middle East. That's what happened. It just happens last night. Not a big deal. Yeah, I think I heard about that. So now the next time the warplanes go in with a much bigger force, we're not going to go, it's all out war. Wait, I don't want war. No, because we were used to it. We're like, yeah, no, they sent planes in last week and nobody freaked out about it. So we're okay with it. First it's boats out in the Mediterranean, a giant boat. And like I said yesterday, I don't have a problem with us having boats and people in the region because I see this as a fight in a club. Remember, I used this analogy yesterday. Hamas grabbed Israel's girlfriend's ass when Israel went to the bathroom. At the bar. She's sitting at the bar. Israel's girlfriend is sitting at the bar. Hamas walks up, grabs her ass. Israel comes back from the bathroom. His girlfriend's in tears. She says, what happened? So he's got to fight Hamas now, right? We know that somebody has a right to retaliate. That's what we're dealing with here in this situation. So Israel's girlfriend's ass got grabbed. He's got a right to retaliate. We're out in a parking lot. All the people have formed the circle, the fight circle, and you got Israel and Hamas in there. I have no problem with the United States role being the biggest, baddest dude in that circle who's holding everybody back. That's what I see our presence in the Mediterranean being. Going, do not get us involved. The problem, you see, is that Iran is trying to act a little bit tough. Iran isn't backing down the way we want Iran to back down, and isn't that how wars start? So that's where we are. So last night we did a couple of raids in Syria, developing ... slow creep of acceptance of American warfare in the Middle East. Slow creep. By the way, that's so funny because they went out of their way. Blinken, it was a Blinken? No, it was Austin. It was Defense Secretary Austin, who was like, just adamant. This has nothing to do with Israel and Hamas. This has to do with Iranian. I'm like, oh, but it does, though. But it does have, I mean, I know it's not a direct, it's not like you're trying to divert people's attention away from some impending Israeli invasion of Gaza. We know that that's, okay, we get that. But don't tell us it's not related. This is all related, dude. This is all related. So that's what's happening in Syria. How about Lewistown? Let's talk about this, huh? How crazy is it that theoretically there's just a dude running around in Maine who's just, known to walk into places and just start shooting people? This is new. Is this new? This is relatively, because we've done the manhunts before, but they're almost always for escaped convicts. What else have we done manhunts for? It's almost always escaped convicts. I cannot remember a mass shooting suspect who wasn't, one, engaged at the scene by police and killed, or two, arrested and taken into custody. They never get away. You don't get away. And here's how I always thought about it. I always thought, boy, if someone were to do something like this and get away from it, get away with it, or get away in the moment, escape police, in the moment after slaughtering a whole bunch of people. I mean, you would almost have to do that in a very big city. You would have to do that, and you'd have to rely on your ability to blend in and for there to be other things for everybody to be looking at. Chaos. I would think that in a rural community, but no, man, dude is out there. I think he might be in the water. They think, they found his car at a boat launch, and they're thinking, well, maybe he just took a boat out there. He's got some experience on the water. He's got a boat. His boat is missing. Put two and two together, right? I mean, these are the way the story's being reported. His car was found at a boat launch where he kept a boat. They don't know where his boat is. Yeah, he took the boat out. He's on the water. Why aren't you guys looking at it? So then they found a note at his home that people are describing, and I say people because who are these people? These authorities, people who supposedly know. It's being described as possibly a suicide note. It's a note to his son. It doesn't explain anything at all about motivation behind the shootings. Speaking of motivation behind the shootings, there's a whole lot of people talking about what this was about. Was this about a girlfriend? He had recently broken up with his girlfriend. I think that might have been something, but I think it's really about the fact that he was institutionalized over the summer for 2 weeks for threatening to blow up a military base. Okay, so let's not put it on the girlfriend for breaking his heart and triggering him, okay? This guy, another one who fell through the tracks, fell on the track, whatever. He was crazy. It's crazy. We knew he was crazy. He was in the military. He said to somebody, he goes, boy, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go get a gun and kill everybody on this base. Dude was like, man, okay, that's interesting. You probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, I know. So he self-reported himself. And then, he went to the doctor. He's like, yeah, so I'm hearing these voices. Hi, military guy here. I'm military base talking to military doctor. Hi, military doctor. I'm hearing these voices. And I'll tell you, sometimes I just want to light this place up. And the doctor was like, okay, let's take you down. And he self-committed. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to lose your rank or all that. No, he self-committed. He went in. Doctors did their thing for 2 weeks, and it was time for him to get out, and he got out. And they're like, this is just a one-off. That's what everybody said at the time. He just had a little bit of trouble. He's okay. He's fixed now. And they let him out. back, and he's doing a thing, and then the girlfriend breaks up with him, and all of a sudden he's shooting up schmangies on a Wednesday night. See, this guy is. At least that's one of the stories. They're saying that. I don't know that it's disputed that he recently broke up with somebody. I think that that's pretty much, but I here's what's disputed. So I haven't seen a full list of the victims. I know certain key points. I know that the youngest victim is a 14-year-old boy who was bowling with his father on Wednesday night. That is fucking crazy to me, having a 14-year-old son. But also, I believe only one female. Is that was being reported last night. I saw that there was only one female, and the female was the bar manager at Schmangies. And there are people saying that the bar manager at Schmangies was, in fact, the girlfriend who broke up with them. So now we're starting to have maybe a motive. I don't know. But he's out there. He was also a regular at Schmangies. That's how they said. That's where the story came. That he was in a relationship with the manager of Schmangies. But he went to the bowling alley first. The bowling alley was, or at least, looking at the timeline, 911 calls came in from the bowling alley first, and then 9 minutes later, calls came in from Schmangies. So I'm just that to me, look at me. I'm not a detective or anything. It seems like that probably happened first. And then there are stories that say that the manager, who he may or may not have been in a relationship with, who may or may not be the only woman shot, we don't know. I think she's the only woman dead, but we don't know. There's a story going on that she was in a bowling league and that she was supposed to be at the spare time bowling alley, and that's why he went there first. And when she wasn't there, when he didn't kill her, that's when he drove to Schmangies. He thought it was her off night or something. I don't know. This fucking guy, right? What are we doing here? What are we doing with this fucking guy? We can't find him? Jesus. I think he's dead. I mean, I honestly do. I think he's dead. I think that we go back to the boat launch. His car was found. The car used in these things was found about 5 miles south of where Schmangies is on Lisbon Road, a boat launch right there on the Acapulco River. I don't know what that river's called. I've never heard that river before, but I think it's pronounced Acapulco. Something like that. His boat's gone. We don't know where his boat is. Yeah, okay, his car is where his boat used to be, and his boat isn't there. Do you think maybe he got out of the car and got onto the boat? We don't want to say. Here's why. They don't want a whole bunch of hillbillies, Maine hillbillies, syrup hillbillies. They don't want a whole bunch of syrup hillbillies on boats going out there trying to find this guy. Here's what he did. He got his car. He got in his boat. He drove out. I don't even know what we're talking. Is this a river? There's access to the ocean, right? Maybe he drove out to the ocean. Maybe he just drove out there. They haven't found his boat. He killed himself. That's what I think. I think he killed himself. I don't think he's going to be found. And I think that this is going to go on for the next couple of days where CNN's going to drop everything and break in with, they've got a greenhouse surrounded. And we're going to watch that for 5 hours. And then they're going to go, nobody was in there. And then we're going to go back to our thing. And then pretty soon, see that slow creep again. Pretty soon, someone's going to say in like 3 weeks, hey, they never found that guy, did they? That's how it's going to go. Brian Laundrie, right? That was the last time that we had anything even remotely like this. Brian Laundrie when he killed Gabby. Jeez Louise. All right, moving on, Lewiston. Israel, let's talk about Israel because that's the big thing that's happening right now. According to the IDF, we've got breaking news. Ground operations in Gaza is expanding. It's not starting. It's expanding. Why? Because slow creep. You don't just suddenly do something. You got to get people accustomed to it. And that's kind of what started yesterday. Yesterday, Israel made their first incursions into northern Gaza with Israeli special forces. And then that was followed by tank columns, and they're not fully into Gaza, although there are now full-scale ground operations going on in northern Gaza, but they're not like in the middle, you know what I mean? It's happening. It's happening. The slow creep of it. I don't know what that means, right? Some dramatic television, some live war footage, I don't know, tragedy for a whole bunch of people. Anyway, that's what's happening in Israel. I'm trying to think if there's any other big piece of news coming out of there that I need to mention. Hostages. I got no updates on hostages. I can't, man, it's this. All right, let me say something now about the news media, because I like to rant about how shitty they can be sometimes. What if CNN couldn't spend 15 to 20 minutes every hour trying to milk tears out of their audience by just focusing on the victims? Look, the victims should be our motivation to making sure that this never happens again. The victims, these are strangers to us, okay? We shouldn't be emotionally manipulated by people trying to sell us Lexus and Carnival Cruise Lines in the next commercial break. It's the only reason. It's not news, guys. It's not news. It's not information, all right? Seeing the victims and learning that she was a 3-time chess champion. Or look at this one here. This grandmother of 5 was hanging laundry when Hamas came in. So I don't watch any of that stuff. My heart is for these people. I don't need to see their faces. Don't emotionally manipulate me. And that's all it's about. When they give you the victim stories, that's not news. That's not journalism. That's emotional manipulation, because they know that you're going to watch, and they change their voice and they tell you about the cute things that these victims do. That's all it is. That's not news. And I fucking hate it. So I don't know what's going on with the hostages. God love the hostages. God protect the hostages. But CNN, stop exploiting the hostages so that we stick around. When we come back from this break, we'll learn about a grandmother and the amazing thing that she did before being taken brutally by Hamas kidnappers. Back after this. And then it's Carnival Cruise Line, water slides, come ahead. We're back now with a CNN exclusive. The grandmother of 2... Stop it. That is not news. You know what? Here's the thing. You want to stay on this story because people are engaged in it. And if you can just keep those eyeballs engaged in this story, you're going to be able to sell commercial time, because more eyeballs mean higher prices during those Carnival cruise breaks. So here's what they do. They take a story that there's no new news on this story. Maybe you could cover a different story, but they don't. They give you one story for the entire hour. And they milk it, they stretch it, and they start looking for what else can we talk about? I've got a list of the top 5 downloaded video games preferred by Hamas teenagers, and then they're doing shit like that. It's called exploiting the story and milking the story. There's so much other shit going on in the world that is getting no. By the way, actually, it's not that bad, because there's 2. There's like 2, like they're going from Lewiston to Israel, back to Lewiston to Israel. So this is what they like. But I beg them, look deeper. There are more stories that people need to know about happening in the world today than just these 2. And that's what news is, especially cable news, commercial news. It's a cash register. It's not about informing. It's about emotionally manipulating you and keeping you in that seat through endless Lexus and Carnival Cruise Line commercials. Or, erectile dysfunction, or whatever pills we need to be on, because you've just ginned us up to the point where we need something, or else we're going to jump off the roof. Acapulco is happening. Acapulco is a story that nobody seems to be talking about. Why? Because there's other things. How about you talk about Acapulco? Look at this story here. Let me pull this up. Sorry, I just accidentally X'd out of the thing that I needed for this very story. Oh, for crying out loud. I hate Google Drive. I love Google Drive, and I hate Google Drive. It's not user-friendly. It's really not. Or maybe it is, and I'm just not a good user. I'm stupid, which is really a possibility. Lewiston, there we go. Where's my story? Here we go. Okay, Acapulco. All right. So first and foremost, so Hurricane Otis was not anything more than a tropical storm. It flared up in the course of 8 hours. It went from a tropical storm to a full-blown hurricane. And if that's not enough, they get hurricanes over on that side of Mexico a lot, but they don't hit huge population centers. And Acapulco is definitely a big population center in that part of Mexico. And well, it's the only place I've been on that side. I don't know. What else is on that side? I usually I've been to the other. Because Cozumel and stuff is on the other side. Playa is on the other side. in an Acapulco. Anyway, whatever. Look at this. Hurricane Otis snuck up on everybody. I always say, man, look, these dudes, they don't know. These weather people they don't know. This is Mother Nature. Mother Nature does whatever the Mother Nature wants. Now, I want you to go back and remember Maui. Remember how we saw the vacation communities there, the tourist traps there in Maui completely burned out? All right, well, look at this. This is Acapulco, man. Acapulco. This is the I don't know, I guess, where the rubber hits the road. This is the beach. This is where the storm came into Acapulco. So here you go. It's like a bomb went off. Look at that building. Every window, I don't know if that's an apartment. I don't know what that is. The entire front of this building has been sheared off. Look at this. No. Look at this. This is a beating, man, and nobody saw it coming. 27 dead. They expect that to rise. There's a number of people in hospitals. It's Acapulco, so it's not going to be the humanitarian disaster, because Acapulco, there's money in Acapulco, so they're gonna get it cleaned up, just like Maui. They're gonna get that cleaned up. And I hear from Jeff in the chat room. Apparently, his grandma, not his grandma, his mother-in-law or something, lives way out inland, and they didn't really get any of this, which is kind of how it works. That's what mountains do. They stop hurricanes. See, the bad place to be with a hurricane is right on the beach, because that's where it's at its most strong. But then it's take years to clean this up. Category 5 Hurricane Otis sneaks up on Acapulco and punches him right in the face. Still looks okay though. Oh Jesus! Look at that! What? Please tell me this was under construction, because it looks like there's a whole part of this that isn't there anymore. It's just a mess. Look at all of this. Look at all this mess. This is. All right, there you go. Acapulco. Let's see here. Utter destruction. Hurricane Otis kills 27 as Category 5 storm hammers Acapulco, leaving flooded streets, ripped roofs, submerged cars, and all communications cut. Aerial footage has captured the devastation caused by Hurricane Otis after it made landfall in Acapulco on Wednesday. So far, 27 people have died after 165 mile-per-hour winds hit the coastal city, causing widespread power outages and flooding. At least 4 people, including 3 military personnel, were still missing as of Thursday morning. Aerial footage has emerged showing the devastation Hurricane Otis caused on Acapulco. And there it continues to say, as of now, at least 27 people have died. Although a number of others still missing. They mentioned the 4 military police people who are still missing, so that number will probably go up. Hospitals are in triage. There's people in hospitals. All right, so there you go. That's terrible. That's terrible. And yeah, it seems like it just died. As soon as it just punched Acapulco right in the face, it seems like it died, because we're not getting reports of what is that, Baja California area as it goes up north. We're not getting all kinds of reports of flooding and stuff like that there. So it seems like it just kind of quit when it was ahead. Hold on. All right, what else do we have here? All right, so moving on. What else? Oops, sorry. Dean Phillips. Dean Phillips. We got to talk about Dean Phillips. Okay, so Dean Phillips is a Democratic representative. He's a Democratic representative from Minnesota, and he's challenging Biden. He's thrown his hat in the ring, and he's starting to raise money, and he's going to go to New Hampshire, and he's going to get himself on ballots, and he doesn't hate Biden and thinks Biden has been an incredible president, but he just wants to be the younger, new vote. You know what this guy's doing. Old Dean Phillips, a dude you've never heard of before. Dean Phillips wants to get out of politics. That's what's happening with Dean Phillips. Dean Phillips doesn't want to be a congressman anymore. And he's going to throw his hat in the ring. He doesn't care. He can give a shit about the Democrat. This is bad. Like the Democratic Party, the organization that he has been a member of all of these years, is now going to go, you are persona non grata, dude. Your career is over in Democratic politics because he's challenging the sitting Democratic president. You can't do that. Anyway, Dean Phillips knows this. He knows that he's over now as a Democrat. So that makes me, and he's very progressive. He's a Minnesota progressive. So he's not going to go to a Republican. So he knows that his career is over as far as being a Democratic politician. That tells me that he didn't really see himself having a career anyway. So how does he cash in one last time? Well, you make a big stink, you run for president. That's what you do. Why? And now, boy, this guy can get some attention because look at this. People are going to talk about him. Dean Phillips. People are going to talk about this brave young Democratic congressman from Minnesota who has the cojones to stand up to the Democratic machine and Joe Biden and say, we can do better. No. You know what that's going to do, though? He's going to raise a lot of money over the next couple of months. There's going to be some excitement. He's going to cash in on this. Absolutely. He's going to start taking money from donors, and he's going to hoodwink a bunch of dumb people into thinking that maybe, just maybe, he can win. He knows he can't win. What he's doing is, that's right, he's building what's known as a war chest. Because, see, what happens is once you realize that you can't win and you still have all of this money because you've been raising money nonstop, and boy, there are people inside the Democratic Party who don't really like Joe Biden. So I'm betting that this guy has a bunch of avenues to get some money. He's going to get a whole bunch of money, and he's going to drop out probably after New Hampshire, but he may be thinking, I could probably raise about $10 million between now. That's not nearly enough to run for president, but he might be able to raise $10 million in this bid to become president of the United States. So after New Hampshire, he's probably going to go, yeah, you know what? This was a bad idea. So what happens with all that money? Well, he's not allowed to spend it. I mean, it's not his money. That's the rule. That's like, what do you mean? We have checks and balances in politics. He can't just spend that money. That's not just his money. No, of course it's not, but he is allowed to form what's known as a political action committee. Political action committee can oversee large amounts of political donations and divvy them out in any way that they see fit. Now, there is no rule that says they have to divvy out all the money that's in there because a political action committee must be run like a business, because if it's to be most effective, then it has to have people who know what they're doing. And when you do that, you got to pay people, right? So what does he do? He takes his war chest. He says, New Hampshire, I'm out of here. I got $10 million. I'm starting the new PAC. I'm in charge of it. I'm paying myself $1 million a year. That's the game, folks. That's why no politicians will ever go to heaven. They're just going to dupe people for the next 6 months into thinking that, I really want to go up against Biden. He's going to take their checks, and then he's going to use it for a new car or whatever. Well, I didn't buy a brand new house for $2 million. That's the headquarters for my PAC. Yes, it's a home office, but I got to live somewhere. That's how they do this nonsense. Why idiots run for president. That's why people run for president and you go, well, wait, why? It's not because they think they can win. It's because they think they can trick stupid people into giving them money that they will then be able to keep and do whatever they want with. Yes, they will write a couple of checks to some politicians and support supposed policies and movements that back what he was about when he was running. But that's all nonsense. It's all about him making himself CEO of the PAC and writing himself a nice paycheck for the next 10 years. All because he decided to challenge Biden for 6 months in the winter of 2023. Not a bad job. Not a bad job. They got it figured out. They do. They got it all figured out. And that's why they all go to hell. All of them. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they seem like good people. They ain't. Screw you, Dean Phillips. I don't care. He's going to challenge. No, he's not. He's not even going to get on ballots in most states. The Democratic machine is going to crush this little doofus's head. He's going to be on stage. He's going to force a debate with. No, he's not. And first of all, get in line. And the people, look, Biden drops dead. I think everybody in the Democratic Party is going, Newsom. On deck is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. That's the one. This guy, Dean Lewis. He's going to have a very good year. He's going to make a lot of money over the next couple of years, spending all the money that a bunch of stupid people give him over the next 6 months. Super Mafia. Ooh, how about this story? There was an Interpol alert that went out. So I told you I love the mafia stuff, right? I love the mafia stories. Excuse me. I love the mafia stories. I read everything I can about the five families. I read everything I can about the Chicago outfit. I read everything I can about the commission. I read everything I can. I love it. I'm fascinated by it. So this is a story that concerns the other mafia, the real Italian mafia, the real Italian. Well, I guess, I shouldn't say that. I should the traditional, the old school Italian mafia, because when I say the real Italian mafia, the fact of the matter is that the American mafia could wipe the shit out of the Italian mafia now. The American mafia is just way too big. They're the most powerful criminal organization in the world. Probably not in 2023. I think that the American mafia has sort of dialed it back. Certainly been a whole lot of, certainly the Chicago outfit isn't nearly as powerful as it was when I was a kid. Five Families as well. People rat now. There's ways to record things that, anyway. But my point is this. These are like the families of Italy. So Interpol put out this thing because they believe that a super mafia has formed. Because the leaders of the three largest Italian mafia families, or the Italian mafia groups, one of them responsible for the American mafia. Not the other two. The bosses of Italy's three biggest crime families have been spotted eating dinner together. This is life here's from Interpol and blah, 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 blah. The Super Mafia Alliance is what they're calling it. Signore Mafioso from Indraghera in Calabria. So that's the one. Okay, so here are the three mafia organizations that all sat down. Indraghera, Camorra, and Cosa Nostra all sat down together for dinner for the first time ever, and that's what the Interpol is all worried about. Because remember, now you've got Ndraghera, right? You got Camorra, and then you've got Cosa Nostra. Now, Cosa Nostra is the one that formed the New York Five Families. So that's the one that we kind of hear in America, we think of the most. So the origins of the American five, at least in New York City, the five families there, the origin of the five families in New York City are Cosa Nostra. They're not like Chicago, the outfit in Chicago. Although Al Capone came from Cosa Nostra, the Chicago outfit that Al Capone ran and made famous, that was started years earlier by Black Hand. Black Hand is a different Italian criminal organization. So the outfit in Chicago's origins are Black Hand, but the five families in New York, their origins are what's known as Cosa Nostra. And that's the one that we know here in America. But Ndraghera is the one that's all over Russia, all over that part, Eastern Europe. Ndraghera, like where Cosa Nostra came to America. Don't my point is this, don't sleep on these other organizations. They are very big Italian-based mafia organizations. Ndraghera, I like saying that. Ndraghera, Camorra, and Cosa Nostra. All right, Super Mafia, be on the lookout for that. Taylor Swift is trending today. Taylor Swift is in the news. Why is Taylor Swift in the news? Oh, I say here, I got to show you this. No, I can't wait. I can't show it to you because I think it'll show you his number, and I don't want to put his number out there on that thing. But so, wait, can I just show this? So my buddy Rob Barr from the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Barr from the chat room. Rob sent me this yesterday. All right, so there's nowhere on here. You see my kids now. All right, so Rob Barr sent me this. This is the humorous new cover of Madden 24. It's just, the Madden cover curse, whatever. So the new cover of Madden. That's very funny. I appreciated that. And I immediately forwarded that to my son, my 14-year-old son, who instantly responded, "So sick of this shit." My son, and this is now the second time within a week that my son has sort of, just naturally responded to Taylor Swift in a way. And this is really upsetting to me because he knows I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. And I'm wondering, does my 14-year-old see, I look at Taylor Swift. She's a 34-year-old woman. I look at her like, all right, 34, that's a fully grown woman. Isn't she great? But there was also a part of me at one point. Like there was a point where I once looked at Taylor Swift, like, I was 35. I'm looking at Taylor Swift and I'm like, she's a 17-year-old. She's pretty, but she's 17. There was that. But now she's a fully grown woman. So it's all right to go, yeah, she's a beautiful woman. Taylor Swift has grown into a beautiful woman. It doesn't make me some gross old pervert for pointing that out. Shouldn't be. I shouldn't be all into. I don't even know who like. But that's good. That is good. It is good. I was going to use an example of some young hot chick from today, but I couldn't even name any, and that's good. And that's my point. So let's move on. Anyway, I'm wondering if my son, who's 14 years old, sees 34-year-old Taylor Swift as just an old lady, like an old bag. You know, is that like when I was 14? So I was 14 in 1984. So who would that be? Does he look at Taylor Swift the way I might have looked at Diana Ross or Barbara Streisand? That's interesting. So when I was 14 years old, yeah, it would have been like, but Barbara Streisand wasn't hot. Or was she? Liza Minnelli? I would have been like, no, come on. Taylor Swift is undeniably hot, right? There should be like some part of his 14-year-old that goes, yeah, I'll give you that. And maybe he does. He just doesn't like Taylor Swift. Not her music. He doesn't. You know how I say, okay, so the other day you asked, what is a meatball? And did I mean when I refer to my son as a meatball, do I mean to call him a meathead? No, he's a meatball. And this is a great example of meatball brain, okay? He doesn't have a problem with Taylor Swift and her music and her being a pop star and her being a cultural icon. He doesn't have a problem with that at all. His problem with Taylor Swift is entirely that she seems to be taking over football, and that is a bridge too far for him. He doesn't want her anywhere near his football. So that is a meatball point of view. That is a meatball perspective that you would literally, and it bugs him. It really does bug him. Like me, I can see the point. I'm like, yeah, okay, if you're a football purist, you might be like, this is silly and all that. But, you know, I'm a grown man. I see it as good for the game. It's fun. Apparently, there are a whole bunch of people now watching football games because of Taylor Swift. And that's a good thing. Not to my son. My son hates it. Can't stand it. Creator community. The creator community is trending, which I am a very not a large part of. I am actually an incredibly insignificant part of the creator community. I do a show that relies on my people's appreciation of what we do here as creators. Panhandlers, really, I'm a digital busker. You know what a busker is? Buskers are people who stand on street corners and play guitar. And sometimes they're really good and sometimes it's totally forgettable. Maybe I'm one of the totally forgettable people who are out here digitally busking every day. But that's what the story is about. And it's an interesting story because our government has to recalculate how they look at these things. This is about people being unemployed. It says millions work as content creators, but in the official records, they barely exist. This is a very real thing. Do you know how many people do not work? Instead, they do YouTube videos and they have, their own advertising deals and all this kind of stuff. Well, the government's got to start calculating, considering that. I know you think, what is it, you and 15 people? Dude, there's like me and 150,000 people streaming right now. I mean, there's a lot of people, and they are getting by through content creation. Whether it's people who are good at tweeters, who are good at memes, who are good at YouTubing, who are on Twitch, who just sit there and play a video game. A 25-year-old who plays a video game for 10 hours a day, gets 500,000 views, and then cashes, $20,000 checks every week. And that's probably being really conservative. They make more than that. The U.S. Census Bureau tallies for the federal government an extensive list of 22,607 American industries, recognizing those who work in such narrow fields as pickled onion manufacturing, adult bookstores, and canoe repair. But the index makes no mention of social media, an oversight that misses one of the most monumental changes to have swept the United States labor force in years. Millions have ditched traditional career paths to work as online creators and content makers, using their computers and phones to amass followers and build businesses whose influences now rival the biggest names in entertainment, news, and politics. That is absolutely true. That is a big sea change in the way that these people look at this. I mean, look, I know that I don't. It's not about me. All I'm saying is when they say everybody's unemployed, it's like, no, they're not. No, those numbers are a bit shady because there's a whole bunch of people, mostly young people. I'm probably the oldest, although that's not true at all. That's not true. There's a cop channel that I follow on YouTube, and this dude was the chief of police in his little town, he's the former chief of police, and then he became like, I don't know, whatever, a director of some security company that he like writes contracts for cops, and he was a chief. Then he went into the private sector in a police oriented business. And then he just quit. He started doing a YouTube channel, like a year ago. And then like a couple weeks back, he did this whole special thing where he said, yeah, I quit my job. $175,000 a year job. He quit the $175,000 a year job because his YouTube thing became popular, and he must be making more than that a year, or at least potentially. And you can. I can't because I don't do it right. But we are thinking of ways to do that as we expand these operations in the coming year. Creator community is trending, or at least was earlier. I don't want to do this story. Oh, God, you guys, I do not want to do this story. You're going to make me do this story? Who wants to get sick? Are you guys sick and freaky? You guys want to get sick and freaky? Tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. This next story is disturbing, sexually sick, probably funny. I mean, if we just let ourselves go, we could have some fun with this story. But, might be offensive to some people. I'll wait. Should I do it or should I skip it? I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to watch a little bit of news here. There's a 15-second delay. I'll check back in the chat room. But I really, this is going to be your call if I do this story or not. All right, still the delay. It's like 15, 20 seconds. It's much longer than I thought it was. IDF ground operations in Gaza are expanding. Yeah, okay. We got you. You said that. Holy fuck. This is how long the delay is? That's crazy. It's like now I'm starting. Okay, here they come. So that's how long the delay is. Oh my God, does that suck? Now that's interesting. And here's why I did that. I don't usually do that. I wanted to really see how long the delay is because I was thinking maybe we could do a Ranger watching party tonight. But we can't do a Ranger watching party if there's a 20-second delay. We can't. That would fucking drive me nuts. I would get so upset. I wouldn't be able to enjoy 1 minute of that. I can't live with the idea of somebody knowing 15 seconds ahead of me. Something that happens. That is unforgivable, people. All right. What else do we have here? Really? That's it. So hold on. That Leslie's the only one who says do it. So you're going to put this on Leslie? All right, here we go. We're going to call this the sad story of Hot Mare. Okay. This comes to us out of what town? You would think this is Florida, but I'm not entirely sure where this is from. Let me see. Washington. There you go. Washington State. Rural people get into some stuff, man. They do. They really do. A Washington man sought to hire a prostitute for himself and his miniature horse. This, according to police, who charged him with animal cruelty and patronizing a prostitute. Jad Simpson, spelled J-A-D, J as in John, J-A-D, Jad Simpson. Interesting name. Jad Simpson, 48. That's so sad. He's 48. Trying to have a threesome with his miniature horse. Oh, my God. Jad Simpson, 48, was arrested last week following a Vice probe involving TNA Board. Don't know what that is. TNA, what is TNA? Oh, an online site advertising sex escort services. Okay, TNA. Oh, okay. TNA Board. That sounds like, a board of directors for like maybe a power company or something. Who gives you your power? TNA? Oh, cool. Okay. So yeah, that seems that TNA Board, TNA tits and ass. I'm just getting it now. TNA Board. Wow. That's how these illegal sex sites operate in plain sight. That is a not sexy sounding website. Now I would look that over. TNA Board. Yeah, I'm not interested. Let's see here. He used some escort board as alleged in a probable cause affidavit. Shipman, using the screen name The Malamute, offered to pay $440 to a forum user named Diane to have sexual contact with him and his miniature horse. $440. Isn't that oddly specific? That's an oddly specific number. Not 450. You don't just round it up to 450. You don't round to the nearest 50 in the sex game. I thought you did. I would assume you would, especially when you're asking for something, off menu. Like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna order off menu. I'm wondering, any interest in doing my horse? It's a little miniature horse. Why has he got a miniature horse? Okay, let's read on, shall we? I don't know. Leslie wanted the story, so we're going to do it. As alleged in a probable cause affidavit, Shipman, using the screen name the Malamute, offered to pay $440 to a forum user named Diane to have sexual contact with him and his miniature horse. Shipman also used an email address containing the phrase hot mare. Hot mare, M-A-R-E, hot mare. Fuck, that's weird. All right, so now this is the part where I felt I needed to say, do you guys really want me to go forward with this? Do you guys really want to hear this? Because we're going to get into some details about what this dude wanted, and it's weird. Here you go. Shipman also used an email address containing the phrase hot mare, according to a police report. Diane, who was the girl in the chat room that he was trying to get to do all this nonsense with, Diane provided cops with copies of explicit messages sent to her by Shipman, who allegedly wrote that he wanted to watch a gal eat. I don't even want to say it. The word that follows eat. Wait, if you're not in, you're out, right? That's, He wanted to watch a gal eat blank the miniature horse that I have while she sits on my dick. Fuck. What? So he wanted the prostitute. I'm not going to say it. I don't even want to. Just this fucking. We talk about people. What does this guy have friends? Did his friends know? You can't have friends. Like, friends can't know about this. And if the friends do know about it, then you got the wrong kind of friends. Because any friend that would have a friend that would do this is probably a weird friend too. I don't have any friends that would do this. I know that because if a friend of mine came to me and go, hey, you know what I like to get into on weekends? I'd be like, we're not friends anymore. While trying to entice a potential paid companion, Shipman acknowledged the difficulty in arranging such a threesome. So he's a realist. He's not a pie in the sky guy. He knows, hey, look, call me crazy. Let me float an idea. Is that how he ramped it up? God, I'd love him. I'd love to talk to him. Listen to the way his exact words are about to be quoted here. These are things that he wrote to her. Remember, he wanted her to basically smash his penis while she had sex with a miniature horse, oral sex with a miniature horse. That's the specific sex that he was looking for again, $440. I can't do it for $440, babe, but I can do it for $450. While trying to entice a potential paid companion, Shipman acknowledged the difficulty in arranging such a threesome. So here's what he said. Last two gals I asked said I was noticeably... Last two gals I asked described my request as being noticeably outside their comfort zone. That's his word. That's how he talks. He's not like... I mean, he's articulate. He uses words properly. Oh, he's weird. He's a psycho. All right, so again, here's what he said. Last two gals I asked to do this said it was noticeably outside their comfort zone, he wrote, as first reported in the Daily News. When confronted by police, Shipman reportedly, quote, here's a quote now, admitted to being a TNA board user named the Malamute, and he also admitted soliciting Diane to eat or lick one of his miniature horse's private parts. He selected Diane, Shipman told cops, because she posted in the board's fetish section, and he'd hoped that she'd be more... here's a quote now, hoped that she would be more agreeable to having sexual contact with him and his horse. During police questioning, Shipman admitted to having prior sexual contact with animals. Well, I bet. Look, here's the rule. Here is the rule. It's a hard and fast rule, and you got to marry yourself to this reality. Anytime somebody gets caught for something that is horribly embarrassing and wild, like unbelievable, anytime they get caught, just know that it's not the first time they've done it. Nobody gets caught the first time. Nobody. So yeah, this guy's probably done a lot of freaky stuff with cracked out I can't. During police questioning, Shipman admitted to having prior sexual contact with animals. An investigator reported spotting 2 miniature horses in the pasture of the rural property. He's got 2 horses. The cops are like, yeah, those 2 horses. Them sex horses. An investigator reported spotting 2 miniature horses in the pasture of the rural property. Shipman and his wife purchased this property in 2019 for $365,000. A judge released Shipman. Oh yeah, you're wondering what that gets you? Do you go to jail? Like, okay, so what did he do? Well, really, what did he do? We know all the weirdness aside. What did he really do? He tried to get a prostitute. He didn't get a prostitute. He didn't actually go through with the act, but he solicited a prostitute to do something that was really freaky. Nobody did anything that was really freaky. Turns out he admits he's done it before. I mean, I don't know what the real crime is here. So what does that mean when he gets arrested? Certainly, I think he needs to be arrested for this. Yeah, I don't know what the real crime is, and I don't know what kind of time he needs to do, but he certainly does need to be arrested, perp walked, and humiliated publicly. That's it. That's fine. If that's all that happens here, dude wants to have sex with animals. I mean, I don't think that prostitution should be illegal. So right there, as a rule, I don't think it should be illegal. I think there's a lot of sad dudes out there. If everybody's just nice about it, it can be a fine thing. It doesn't need to be horrible. Just let's make sure. If it's legal, I think people would be nicer about it, prostitution. And by nicer, I mean the actual prostitutes and the sad dudes who need it. Anyway, I don't think that should be a problem. I certainly do think that people shouldn't be allowed to have sex with animals. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a million reasons why. I've never thought about it. It's just kind of, that's programming. Like my programming tells me, don't even think about this one. People shouldn't have sex with animals. And I'm fine with that. So, okay, so that's just a hard and fast. We're just going to go with people shouldn't have sex with animals. But if people want to have sex with a prostitute, they should be able to do it. So what did this guy do? He tried to get a prostitute. I'm fine with that, although it is still illegal. I'm fine with that. But then he asked the prostitute to do something that I do think should be illegal. We're moving on. I don't want to spend any more time on this. This story brought to you by Leslie C. in the chat room. She's the only one who wanted it. I put it to you, people. Look, you need to trust me. If I'm a little bit touchy about a subject, that means all right, how about this one coming out of the Wall Street Journal? I love this story. We do got a couple more, but indulge me here on this one. The Wall Street Journal has a big headline, and the name was trending this morning. Tyson Bagent. Let me tell you about Tyson Bagent. This is a fun story. And yes, it does happen to be directly related to my Chicago Bears, and I will take any opportunity to talk about my Bears, not with you people, because you people don't care, and that's fine. But this is a national story, and this is a story that's starting to get pumped up, and because he's playing on national TV on Sunday night, I'm sure this will be a huge talking point for the Sunday night football crew, and it's this kid, Tyson Bagent. Who's Tyson Bagent? Tyson Bagent is a quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Oh, I thought that was Justin Fields. Busted thumb. Justin busted his thumb. Ugh, can't grip a football. After having 2 weeks in a row, where what was Justin's 2 weeks in a row? He threw for like 350 yards, 20 touchdowns. Ridiculous. Offensive player of the week one week, DJ Moore. Offensive player of the week the next week. They were on fire. And third week, he breaks his thumb. All right, so that's over. So whatever. Who knows what we're doing there? We got to go to our backup quarterback. Chicago Bears have a backup quarterback who's been a bit of a curiosity. We didn't allow ourselves to think that Justin could get hurt, so we weren't really all of that worried about it. Coming into this season, the Chicago Bears went and signed P.J. Walker. They gave him, I think, $5 million. Did we do? Was it stupid 5 or stupid 3? I don't know. We gave him either stupid 5 or stupid $3 million a year to be Justin Fields' backup. Why? Because P.J. Walker is a whatever. I don't know. He's more like Justin than anyone else. So the idea was that P.J. Walker, the old veteran, been in the league for a couple of years. Not a whole long. Played in the XFL too. Lit up the XFL. P.J. Walker was supposed to be Justin Fields' backup. Then they went and they got this undrafted free agent who showed up at camp. This kid out of a Division II school, Shepherd College. Now, he didn't just show up. He was invited there because Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, was the head coach at the Senior Bowl, and this kid was the first Division II quarterback invited to the Senior Bowl as a starter in like the 100-year history of the Senior Bowl or whatever it was. Probably not 100 years, but it was a big deal. Why did this Division II kid get invited to the Senior Bowl? Well, because he shattered the NCAA record of touchdowns thrown in a career. He's the all-time NCAA record holder, all divisions, Division I, Division II, Division III, doesn't matter. Nobody's thrown more. And I think he's at 172 total, 158. There's 158 and then 172. There are two numbers. Anyway, I think one of them was the number that broke it. And then the other one was, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. More yards also. Anyway, he was a phenom. He comes out of this small school. Wall Street Journal does a big story on him today because, he got his first NFL start. Think about it. Think about all the NFL experts. You know, I like to rant on the NFL experts, the people who told you that the Raiders should take Jamarcus Russell #1. You know, the people who told you about how Johnny Manziel was going to reinvent these people, these highly paid experts. The people who convinced my Bears to take Mitch Trubisky at #2. Mm-hmm. The people who looked at Patrick Mahomes and went, nah, there's plenty of better quarterbacks than him. The people who didn't see Tom Brady. The people who didn't see Brock Purdy. Any opportunity that I can get to do a little bit of a grave dance on the flim-flam business of NFL expert. Oh, really? You mean, wait a second. So what you're telling me is that you watch games better than me? Because that's what you're telling me, because I watch the games too. You watch the games. I watch the games. You don't know anything I don't know, because the minute you know something, you report it, and then I know it. And everybody else is all reporting stuff too, and I'm reading what they're doing. So that, quite frankly, I might know more than you because I'm getting it from other people. That's what an NFL expert tries to convince you of, that they watch football better than you. It's been in the sports radio host bag of tricks for years. They watch sports better than you and know it better than you. It's bullshit. Anyway, NFL expertise completely missed on Tyson Bagent, even though he lit up the game in the Senior Bowl, had a huge game in the Senior Bowl, remember? No, Division II quarterbacks don't start the Senior Bowl. He did. Why? Because he set all those records. Impressed Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, who said, let's go. Come on, you know what? Nobody's going to draft you, I don't think. But because obviously he went to Division II. Why would anybody draft him? Why would they draft him when there are plenty of Blake Bortles out there to be drafted in the first round? So they didn't draft him, so they missed on him. He shows up in camp. He lights everybody up. Remember I told you about P.J. Walker? He was paid either $5 million stupid or $3 million stupid. P.J. Walker of the Chicago Bears quickly in camp is now the third string quarterback because this undrafted kid is just slinging it. He becomes a bit of a cult hero for those crazy Chicago Bear fans. You see this kid, this Bagent kid? So lo and behold, the Chicago Bears have to eat crow. They got to cut P.J. Walker, the guy that they brought in for $3 or $5 million stupid money. They got to cut him in August because they're like, this kid is way better than you. Now, if you're wondering, well, it was P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker is currently starting in the NFL every week for the Cleveland Browns. P.J. Walker is an NFL starter caliber. This undrafted kid, rookie from Division II Shepherd, came into camp and blew P.J. Walker out of the place. And it wasn't close. So Fields goes down, and now we got a starting quarterback who's like a rookie from Nowheresville, West Virginia. So how did this happen? Well, here's what happened. The kid grew up in this small town in West Virginia. Comes from a famous family in this small town because his dad is the GOAT, the greatest of all time world champion arm wrestler. His dad, I remember his dad, Travis Bagent. I remember seeing his dad on ESPN late at night doing I remember his dad going up against a Russian dude for the world title. This is this new quarterback of the Chicago. This is his dad. His dad is Travis Bagent, and he's bigger than life, and he's funny as hell, and he's a big entertainer and all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. So his dad was a bit of a hero at this small-time school, this little Division II school. His mom also was a bit of a hero at this small school. His grandfather also went to this small school, Shepherd University. And Tyson Bagent grew up going to the games, going to Shepherd University games. It's the hometown school and all this kind of stuff. What does he do in high school? He wins 2 consecutive West Virginia state championships, and 2 years in a row is named West Virginia Mr. Football. No Division I colleges came. He wanted West Virginia. He wanted the University of West Virginia to come. They didn't come. And so after they didn't come, he decided instead of going to play for, some school that he didn't really have any love for. He decided, you know what, I'm just going to go to Shepherd. He went to Shepherd, dominated, as we said, set all those records. And now he's getting his big shot on national TV, Sunday Night Football, Tyson Bagent. It's exciting. It's good for him. And again, it speaks to the so-called NFL expert class that is just nothing but a bunch of bullshit. I should say, this is not his first start. He got his first start last week. Tyson Bagent started last week. Played great. The Bears don't win games. We're the worst team in football. They won last week. Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback, comes out of nowhere, operates the offense at a level that we have not seen. Look, Justin's my starting quarterback. Justin's a better quarterback because I believe in ceiling, right? Ceiling. Justin's ceiling is insane. But this dude, Bagent, this kid can throw. Remember his dad, world champion? He's got a fucking cannon. He's smart. He gets rid of the ball quick, and he can run. So very exciting. And it's going to be Wall Street Journal here has a really nice story about it. Here's how it says. Hardly anyone had ever heard of Tyson Bagent before his first NFL start. He'd played Division II football, gone undrafted, and was serving as a backup for one of the league's, I said shittiest, but the word is crummiest. Then the newly minted Bears quarterback defied even the rosiest expectations by leading Chicago to a blowout win in his very first start. So everybody's very excited. So that's Sunday night. So if you want a story to root for, if you think that, there are no, Brock Purdy, everybody loves Brock Purdy. Let me tell you something about Brock Purdy. And no offense to what Brock Purdy has done, because it's incredible. But Brock Purdy is running a Kyle Shanahan system that is absolutely loaded with talent. The San Francisco 49ers are loaded with talent. So, and Kyle Shanahan is a proven crafter of quarterbacks in his system. Colin Kaepernick, University of Nevada. Nobody knew who Colin Kaepernick was until he showed up in his Super Bowl. That's the truth. Colin Kaepernick was made by Kyle Shanahan. Well, wait, was Kaepernick Harbaugh? How far back we going? I don't know, whatever. My point is this. I'm ranting. Brock Purdy has a great situation. Brock Purdy walked into a team that was loaded and ready to win. They didn't know what they were doing. Garoppolo, but hey, whatever. That is not the case for Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent, as an undrafted, and at least Brock Purdy played at Iowa State. Brock Purdy played big-time college football. And Brock Purdy was the last person drafted. This dude, Tyson Bagent, wasn't drafted at all. His numbers destroy Brock Purdy. That was a story that they did, college numbers against each other. It's like if you just went on numbers, you'd be like, why did anybody take Brock Purdy but not Tyson Bagent? If someone was going to take the last quarterback drafted, they should have. Well, it was probably because he played for a Division II school. Here's another thing. Can I mention this? I want to mention this about the San Diego, about the Los Angeles Chargers. Am I crazy? And I hope this goes for Cowboy fans too, or fans of whatever team you are. Am I crazy? But my entire life, the San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers, have always been a team I didn't have the foggiest idea if they were good or not. I don't ever know with the Chargers. They always seem like they might be good, and then they're like not good, and it's like, or are they good? The Chargers are a weird team. Like, they're teams you always know are shitty. And my Bears, the Lions, teams that are always shitty. And Jets are always going to shit the bed. Texans are always going to shit the bed. There are teams are shitty. There are teams are good organizations that are always going to be competitive. You got your Pittsburghs, your New Englands, your San Franciscos, your Green Bays. They just sort of Philadelphia the last 20 years for sure. You got those. He walked into a team that's absolutely shitty, like the worst. Anyway, it's an interesting story. All right, we're out of time. We got nothing else to do here, so we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about the World Series, trying to make our plans here for tonight, because without burying the lead, this is all just, every breath I take is just killing time until 7:00 tonight. Am I right? I mean, are we all just as, bound up and a little bit uncomfortable with? I'm not. Why? Because tonight, it's about what are we talking? From Highland Park to Arlington, what are we talking, 20 miles? I don't know, about 20 miles that way, 20 miles in that direction. There's going to be a World Series game played tonight. Game 1. Been telling you all year. There's magic in the air. This actually, I've been telling you that all year. I've been telling you that since the Baltimore series, where I started to go, this seems weird. Magic. So I believe in our Texas Rangers, and I really think that we're going to win this World Series. I have no doubt in my mind that the Texas Rangers are going to win the World Series. You can either buy in and go with me, or be cynical. Because as I always say, this is what sports is about. It's about this moment. It's about the unknown moment where we think we got a chance. And you know what? Doesn't that feel good? Look how cocky we are. We're a little bit nervous, but we're overcompensating for that publicly and to avoid awkwardness by being uber confident. Yeah, fuck you. You guys suck. They don't suck. This team doesn't suck. Nobody we're playing. Nobody makes it to this level in any major sport sucking. However, Diamondbacks are not supposed to be here, you guys. The Diamondbacks, Texas Rangers aren't supposed to be here, you guys. I mean, I worry about the whole magic thing. I mean, I can name one, Evan Longoria. That's it. I don't even know. Now I know that after this weekend and certainly after tonight, I'm going to be able to probably name the entire roster of the Diamondbacks, but I'm not all that familiar with them because they're not an exciting team and they're not a team that anybody saw coming. And neither are the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers playing a division with the Houston Astros. Well, we saw Texas coming. Texas Rangers playing the same division as Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. We saw Texas coming. Same goes for the Diamondbacks. So I really thought going into this that most of America would be rooting for the Texas Rangers. But now I don't know. I think there might be a lot of people rooting for the Arizona Diamondbacks too. We would have been the favorite. We would have been the favorite against Philadelphia. It would have been like, Philadelphia, that they're always in something. Texas Rangers, we would have been the favorite. But I mean fan favorite, not voting fan, not gambling favorite. Rangers are the favorites in Vegas to win the World Series. Rangers are favorite here. At least they were. I have to recheck that. I don't really gamble, so that's what I heard. Tonight's game at 7:00. I'm certainly going to be watching. I have to go to the store. Why? I have to spend funds. I have to spend money that otherwise would not be spent. Why? Because it's a World Series game, and this is a very special thing. And if you're a baseball head, you love the World Series anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter. If it was the Dodgers playing the Red Sox, I would still be watching it tonight. I wouldn't be as crazy as I am. I mean, I am now. This is the rare occasion. How many times do you have a team? They're not even my full-fledged team. They will be. They're getting there. Fucking White Sox. I swear to God, you know what? I'm just one bad off season away from going, you know what? Never again, White Sox. My kid would kill me. I can't do that. I can't. I told you I got my kid into baseball and very young. I started brainwashing him. And so he's a Chicago White Sox fan. Take him to all the games, get him all the jerseys, fill his head with all this great stuff. I told you he called me over the summer, middle of the horrible Chicago White Sox baseball season, and he just yelled at me. He just said, "Why did you do this to me?" And I go, "What?" He's like, "There was no reason. There was absolutely no reason that I, a kid in Plano, Texas, should be a fan of the Chicago White Sox, and yet here I am, and they're driving me nuts, and it hurts. Why did you do this to me?" And I go, "Well, I don't." And click, he just hung up. Like that was it. That was it. He just wanted me to know. And I did. So, Texas Ranger fans, it's been 12 years since the heartbreak, right? 2 in a row, 2 World Series in a row. Clean slate. Let's not worry about that. If you're not going to allow yourself to enjoy the next 7 games, I'm not even going to say 7 games, the next 4 games, let's be freaking optimistic. Sweep! And why not a sweep? When my team had the magic, the first time I noticed baseball magic, my team went in and just swept, just slaughtered 4 games in and out. It was beautiful. The joke was the White Sox didn't want to play any home games because it's cold in Chicago in November. So let's finish this in Houston. Let's get this over with. We can do the same thing here. Do the same thing with the Rangers tonight. And here's the other thing that's difficult for me watching this game. And are you guys having this issue as well? I'm afraid that I lack any real animus towards the Diamondbacks, and I need to work up some hatred. The Astros were easy, man. Like, you can work up a hatred for the Astros. Baltimore Orioles, that was kind of difficult because, they're like, Baltimore's a city. It barely exists. It's not Boston. It's not Philly. It's not New York. It's not Washington, D.C. It's just like right there. And you feel bad for those people. So that was a tough one. Rays, screw the Rays. Please, they suck too. They don't suck. Here's how they suck. They suck by being good and competitive every year against all odds. I don't understand how the Rays do that, but they do it. So they were easy to hate. Diamondbacks aren't easy to hate, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about them. Let's see. We got to find things to hate about the Arizona Diamondbacks in order for me to truly appreciate the next few games. What else? Jeff with absolutely no reason. See, let's see what Jeff's doing. Jeff. Okay, I'm gonna break Jeff down. Jeff is being a contrarian. Jeff went go Diamondbacks. And by the way, after I say this, you can just go, I'm just kidding. Well, I know you're kidding, but there's a lot going on behind the motivation to kid. So why are you kidding? Why are you deciding to go in the opposite direction? Why are you? Because this chat room is filled with people who are going to be irritated by that. You irritating somebody, even though it's just a bit, we know you're kidding, but the slight idea that you're irritating them does something to you that brings you joy. And I would say, Jeff, be better. That wasn't bad. Jeff wants to irritate right now. He is taking his fellow chat roomers, his fellow chat people, and he is holding their lives in the palm of his hand, and he is deciding that in this moment he wants to hurt you. So he's going to root for somebody else. He's being a contrarian because that's how he gets off. Shame on you, Jeff. Be better. All right, now Adam's up. All right, I'm going to break Adam down. All right, here we go. I'll break everybody down. You guys, you don't go through 20 years of weekly therapy with some of the most fantastic therapists without getting a little something. I can break anybody down. Now April's saying, don't shame him. Is she talking to me? I'm not. I don't think there was there any shame there? Yeah, maybe there was. Did I say shame on him? Probably. I don't mean to shame. Just call it like it is. Adam says, I don't need to hate my opponents. In fact, I like Baltimore and the Rays. Fucking hated the Astros. Was even sweeter when we won while I was with the. I don't know what he's saying there. For some reason, when I try to read these things, I lose like half the sentence. Like part of the sentence gets cut off at the end. But it's Jeff. Look, Jeff's in Iowa, and he's half a retard anyway. He's a Cub fan. I mean, so of course he's a broken human. He got no sense. I mean, we love him. He's our friend in the cornfield, and we welcome him every day. But he's a Cub fan. I mean, we know that we're dealing with a broken person. April says, so what's the plan for your Rangers watching party? Monday is going to be cold. Yeah, I'm seeing that, right? It's going to be really cold on Wednesday, which makes me want to go out and do a Ranger watching party because I got sweaters I want to bust out. I've exhausted all my fashion looks for summer. I've exhausted every possible option that I can wear if the temperature is going to be over 105 degrees. I've worn those things into the ground. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it being cold on Monday. I don't know yet. Where do you want to go? Where do you guys want to go? Do we need to do? I don't know. Do we want to go out Monday? Jesus, I do. But I also know that it's unfair of me to come on here on Monday and go, hey, let's all go to, that's kind of unfair. There should be a plan. Adam says, I was in Mexico with my family for a wedding. We won game 6. I don't know what he's saying there again because it cuts off. Jeff says, I have no skin in this series. So, of course, with a chat of 99% Ranger fans, I have to root for the Diamondbacks. Wow. Tell it on yourself, Jeff. Why, of course? That's the key right there. Let's look at what Jeff is saying here. That is, oh my God, we're making such progress here, Jeff. I have no skin in this series. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care who wins. He's a Cub fan. Like I said, we know he's broken. He's a Cub fan. I have no skin in this series. So, of course, with a chat of 99% Ranger fans, I have to root for the... Made a choice there. You made a choice there to, instead of being one of the dudes and going, yeah, all right, I got no skin in this game. I hope my chat friends have a good experience. No, you're actively hoping they have a hardship. Ugh. Do you see what you did there? Now, you do this because it's part of your programming. Jeff loves when I talk about programming, but part of the programming makes you thoughtless, be cynical. And there you have it. That's all I'm saying. Makes you person I like. Everybody in the chat room likes you, Jeff. This isn't personal. Well, it is. It's very personal, actually. You're breaking down his psyche. Of course it's personal. Yes, I guess it can't get any more personal. But if you ever want to do it to me, trust me, there are, oh my God. Where do you want to start? You want to start? Yesterday, I started going into my imposter syndrome problems. That's an issue. Delusions of grandeur. Like, who the fuck am I to sit here breaking down Jeff, right? Why? Because I have a stream? Part of my delusions of grandeur issue. What are we doing here? IDF, ground operations in Gaza expanding. It's the same damn thing. They keep saying the same damn thing. All right. I don't know. I haven't seen anything blow up. They got like a split screen where we're seeing a look at Gaza. Hold on. April says, what is April saying? What do we play in the chat room? I like watching games in Dallas at Hero by the AAC. I mean, is that an option? I mean, like, I don't know where everybody lives. Like, is the AAC like an, I don't know. Like, how would we do it? Like, to be honest with you, I don't want to drive 15 miles in some random direction from here to accommodate one dude that lives, who may not even show up. I don't know. Do we pick like downtown? Do we pick Addison? Do we pick central locations where people, I don't know. I have no idea. April also says, I'm free Halloween. My kids are too old. I like idea of doing Texas live, but most of the Dallas peeps don't want to travel. Yeah, I ain't going to Arlington. No offense, but I ain't going all the way out there. And I certainly ain't going to drop myself in the middle of that. Wait, on Halloween? No. Wait, is there a World Series game on Halloween? Nope. I'm doing the direct, whatever the opposite of going to Texas live to watch a World Series game on Halloween, whatever the opposite of that is what I'm doing. Yeah, next Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to figure it out. Everybody hates me. You have to figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, people, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said, there's a lot going on in this world, so I very well at some point may just jump back in and do a live stream if we get the big explosion in Gaza. Boom! Hold on.
Because you just can't maneuver into an urban environment like that. And the streets inside of Gaza are very narrow, and they've been rubbled for the last 20 days by airport bombs.
We're two just very large explosions in Gaza. There we go. Duran's got a new song out. I don't know. I just opened my Spotify and it said, listen to the new Duran song on Simon Le Bon's birthday.
I have got my poetry. I have got my songs.
I gotta go to the store. I don't know. Oh, another big one. Okay. Oh, whoa. Hold on. We got big.
Yes, my command was responsible for a fight in Mosul in 2000.
Okay, we got there's big stuff happening in Gaza. CNN's freezing up though.
This will be 10 to 20 times harder than Mosul for a variety of reasons. First of all, you've got better trained Hamas than you had Al Qaeda. You also have, like you said,
I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's Lieutenant General Mark Hertling, retired, doing live play-by-play of the bombings here in Gaza. Yeah, Peter said it best. You guys all have a great weekend. Oh, whoa! What the? Hold on.
Things compound the fight when you're talking. Oh, by the way, they didn't have close to
Hold on. Like they've gotten progressively bigger, and the first one was very big one. All right, guys, hold on. There's a big bombing going on right now. Maybe is there a way that we can watch this? Let's see if we got we'll just pull the screen up. I mean, why not? Okay. Whoa, another big one. Let's see. Okay. Find me a good live stream. My God, man. All right, I don't know. All right, this is obviously not a good live cam. There's nothing here. Where's the CNN live cam? All right, here, we'll try this. This looks like a Fox News live cam. But this is not the same live cam that CNN is using. CNN is using one that's... See, like CNN, there's just huge explosions going on the CNN. Oh, okay, that's not a big one. All right, so this is a different camera in Gaza than the one CNN is showing on the TV in the room here. Huge explosion on CNN just now. Huge explosion. And nothing on our camera. Okay. Can we use CNN? I mean, I don't think we can. Let me see if we can find a better live stream. Wow. You know what I might want to do? Okay, guys. So here's what I might want to do. I'm going to end this. We're going to just go ahead. We're going to end this stream. And then I'm going to have to run to the store here. I'm not going to be long. I got to get something. Man, I want buffalo wings so bad. Buffalo wings are expensive. And you can't just like order. But I almost bought buffalo wings last night, and I'm like, it's going to be $18. Ugh. Buffalo wings aren't $18. When you're fat like me, an order of buffalo wings is going to run you easily $20. People are like, what do you mean you can't go to McDonald's without spending $15? I can't go to McDonald's without spending $15. Well, you can just get a meal. You could just get a McDonald's meal. They're like $4.99. They're like $5. Yeah, except when you're built like me, you got to eat 3 of them. And that's 5 times 3. Hey. I know. These are wealthy problems. I got to run to the store. So I gotta get some food because I got no food for this week. I gotta get some food. I'll probably be about a half hour, and then I'm gonna find a way to cover this because I want to watch the invasion. So I may be coming back in a few hours. Stick around, follow, like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. And want to do that? Why not? I'll be doing it anyway, so why not do it with a live stream? And that'll probably take us right up to Ranger watching time. All right, love you guys. We'll see you. Bye.
I have got an old guitar, that is all I need. I don't need no 401, I don't have the greed. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day, the best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffled can smile a little now, things are going good. I always had to be on guard, that is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.